One of the biggest misconceptions about leadership is the belief that leaders are perfect people. These false assumptions has limit many of us from stepping into leadership role and responsibility. And when this happens, it causes us disappointment when leader fall short of our expectations. The simple truth is, leaders are not perfect. Leaders are human. Great leadership is not about perfections. It is about taking responsibility, taking the journey of growth and resilience. It is about authenticity. Therefore, we must come to terms that leaders are not flawless people. Leaders are people who admit their mistake and learn from it. They are people who decided to lead us despite their weaknesses and their struggle. Welcome to Leadership Factory. I am Mr. G. Orale.
Inspiring, impactful, and transformational. Welcome to Leadership Factory with Shoji Oroale. Be transformed.
One of the biggest misconceptions about leadership is the belief that leaders are perfect people. These false assumptions or narrative has limit many of us from stepping into leadership roles, responsibilities, and positions. And it has caused us disappointment, several disappointment when leaders fall short of these expectations. The truth is simple. Leaders are not perfect. They are human like us. Rather than looking for perfect leader, we should be looking for authentic leader. Great leadership is not about perfection. It is about responsibility, growth, resilience, and authenticity. Leaders are ordinary people who choose to take extraordinary responsibility despite their weakness and their shortcomings. We have to understand that the reason why our nation, why our community, why our organizations are in dilemma today is because of this false narrative of expecting perfect leader. To have a perfect leader in this side of life will require us to have God as the person who is leading us, because there is no flawless person on earth. I have been thinking about this for years, because there are times of my life I thought that leaders are perfect people, that there should not be an author of any flawlessness in them. But I realize that if you are going to allow people to actually carry out real leadership, rather, we have to allow them to express themselves. They have to lead from their self-discovery, which permits them to make mistake. So we have to come to terms with this truth that leaders are not flawless. That is when we could be able to do exploit in our leadership. I want you to take note of few things in this episode of Leadership Factory. We'd like you to take note of things that we are going to be discussing. one of the things I want you to take note of is what I just said, that leaders are not flawless people. For us to have great leader, we should be looking for authenticity rather than perfections in our leader. So the first point I would like you to hold on to in this episode is that leaders are human, not superhuman. You are a leader. I just wrote an ebook called I Am a Leader, a declaration of faith, visions, and power, where you proclaim who you are. That is who you are. So if you accept that you're a leader, and you can't tell me that you are flawless, therefore leaders are not flawless. This is not a room, this is not a framework to excuse leaders from taking responsibility for growth, but it is a fact that has to be stated so that we could be able to allow our leaders to grow rather than kill themselves when issue like this arises. So that is the reason for these conversations. So leaders feel fear, they doubt, and they are pressured like everyone else. What sets them apart is their willingness to make decisions and take responsibility. If we look at example of our great religious leader or great leader in the nation of Israel, Moses in the Bible, he struggled with anger and doubt, yet he still led Israel out of Egypt. Yes, the reason why we have to grow beyond our fault is because it can put us in trouble at a particular point of our leadership if we do not do something about it. That is what actually happened to Moses. Number 2 point I would like you to hold on to is that mistakes are part of the leadership journey. So today, if you are aspiring to be a leader, you should know you are going to learn through it. Leadership is a journey. Take for instance, like I said earlier on, there are times of my life I assumed that a leader should be a perfect people. But as I study, as I go through leadership journey as a leadership consultant and begin to lead people, I discover that that is not true. That is a false narrative. No matter how great people are how great or how good they are as a leader, they still have part of them that people do not like to associate with. A few days ago, I was doing some research about great leaders in Africa, and I discovered that these people that most times we condemn have their great part, has their great their time. They stood out with courage to face the fear. You understand? And be able to deliver us from all kinds of issues, external prayer and internal crisis and the rest. But if we kept saying that these people are not leaders, we may not find right leader to lead us, because we'll be given a scenario whereby we want perfect people to assume positions, and we can't have perfect people in this side of life. Remember I said mistakes are part of leadership journey. Every leader make mistake, but mistake become lesson that shape or brings about wisdom, that shape wisdom or bring about wisdom. Good leaders do not hide from their mistake. That is what we make our leaders to do, especially in religious setting. We make our leader hide the mistake because we assume they are flawless. We assume they are God, that they can't fall. So when they fall, rather than try to explain to us, try to embrace the lesson learned through their challenge, they try to cover it up. They refuse to say sorry. Why? Because we have painted them to be God. And there is no leader who is God. No leader who is God. Abraham Lincoln is a great leader. He fell in business. and lost several elections before becoming one of America's greatest presidents. Today, if you hear somebody is a leader doing well and he has had issue in business, had issue in some certain thing, and we want to paint the life of such a person as with what the failure he has experienced and a lot of certain things he has done in the past. And I'm not saying that the past can haunt us. It will definitely, but the ability of a leader to rise to the challenge, rise to take responsibility of whatsoever that has happened to him before, makes that leader authentic. We should be looking for authentic leader rather than perfect leader. Perfection is not the standard. Growth is the standard. Perfection is not the standard. Growth is the standard. So leadership is a continuous process of self-improvement. The best leaders admit when they are wrong and seek to do better when they discover their mistakes. Our great leader here in Africa and around the world, Nelson Mandela, admit he was not perfect, but he showed humility and growth, which made him a global icon of forgiveness and reconciliation. That is what we're talking about. That is what we are talking about. We are talking about authentic leader, not perfect leader. Leaders are colleagues. They are your colleagues. Leaders are your colleagues, not God. I think I said that earlier on. A leader is not someone above everyone else. Do you know that the fact that some people are leading us, you may know better than them? To actually show that you are a leader is to suggest, is to support them and encourage them to succeed, rather than shaming them for not knowing some certain thing. They are not God that they will know everything. No, they were privileged to be our leader. So if you are an employee, if you are a team member of any organizations, team member of any team, of any association, and you know better than your leader, that doesn't make you the leader of the team. The person is still the leader of the team. What you should do as a great leader is to suggest how things can be done better, because all of us are leaders. All of us are leaders. A leader is not someone above everyone else, but one who walks alongside the people. Seeing leaders as perfect create unrealistic expectations that damage the trust when mistake happen. That is what happened. Oh, we hear people say that I respect that person so much. I can't believe he can do such. I can't believe he can. And now that he has done it, what will you do? Is to still embrace him, to be part of his journey. You have your own journey. That leader have his own journey. Remember, many a time there is a difference between a leader and their positions. There is a difference. There are great leaders who have character flawless, or that have character issue rather, who perform greatly in their positions. But imagine leaders who are performing greatly in their organizations, but they are having family challenge. Will you now say because they have family challenge is a challenge anybody can have? It's not a measure of how somebody will succeed in the leadership position, even though they are part of overall success in life. But life have been segmented in different parts, so you can't judge somebody based on only one part of his life. I could remember this I'm trying to explain now in one of our elections some times ago, when a particular actress was running for governorship elections as a deputy governor, and people come, and I admire that actress, because she's a fantastic actress and she has done so well, and very eloquent and intelligent person. Unfortunately, people begin to talk to her, begin to discredit her because she has marital failure. That is not it. That doesn't mean that you will not do well if you have an opportunity to lead. Yes, I know that there are a lot of people that attach marital success to leadership success, but marriage, let me take that as an example, is not a work of one person. It is two people involved in marriage not working that will be blamed, because the Holy Scripture said, can two work together except they agree? When two people doesn't agree, they can't work together. So, example are in business, leaders who openly admit mistakes build more trust than those who pretend to be flawless. And that is, when you open up, you are becoming an authentic leader, and you begin to learn from your mistake. The next point I would like you to hold on to is that what truly defines great leader? What are the things we can say define great leader? Number one, courage to make decisions. Courage to make decisions. When a leader is courageous enough to stand against injustice, to stand against bullying, to stand against external affairs, to make injustice available for people, this is what makes a great leader. It is not the perfect. There are a lot of people who are perfect, who is not courageous enough to speak for other people because they have some issue with the person. But a great leader speaks for people. They stand up. They stand up against external pressure. They stand up against injustice. They love people. That is the sign of great leader. That is what great leader actually represent. A great leader is a leader who is humble enough to admit their mistakes. Anytime they fall short of the standard, they admit it and decided to work on it. Not such a leader we have who do not. I have never seen any time that I expect that example Nigerian leaders or president should come after 8 years and apologize to Nigeria. But they will not. This morning, I found a prime minister of a particular nation resign. And I was telling some of my team, I said, we found every day that ministers in different nations resigns. We have never seen any time in Nigeria whereby we see leaders who decided to resign their position because they are not performing. And humility, that is what humility does to you. It helps you to be able to say, no, I've promised people so high, but I'm not delivering. So therefore, I want to quit. Let's have somebody who has the ability. I think I could take the positions and do better. No, I can't do better. Let's have somebody who can do better to take it. But rather, we were power drunk. We want to keep the power till eternity. Yes. What actually defines a true great leader? A great leader is a leader with resilience. A leader who rises after failure. He has failed several times attempting to do something good. But at this point in time, he has not been able to complete it. Rather than relegate himself, he stand up again to do that again and rise above failure. That is great leader. Finally, what actually makes a great leader is commitment to serve others, not themselves. I want you to take that seriously, because the excess of leadership is service. The excess of leadership is service. So when somebody is not ready to serve, such a person should not qualify to be a leader. Do not forget this. Do not disqualify yourself from leadership positions because you are not perfect. Do not idolize leaders. Respect them, but remember, they are human. So that when they make mistake, you will not say, I'm losing my faith. Can't you hear sometimes some people will say, like in the Christendom, that if that person can backslide, if that person can do that, I am not sure. Yet, we are not saying it's not going to shake you. But it will shake you. But your trust should be in God, not men. Don't idolize men. Learn from your mistake and use them as a stepstone to wisdom. Celebrate progress. Celebrate progress. Celebrate progress, not perfections. Not perfections. You are not perfect. I am not. Can I tell you one truth? We continue making progress daily, not because we have solved all the yesterday problem. Rather, as far as we make progress, we continue to strive for better day. That is what great leadership is all about. Leadership is not about being flawless. It is about being faithful. It is about being authentic. Leaders are not perfect people. They are colleagues, friends, and fellow humans who dare to take responsibility, committed to serve other people. True greatness is found not in perfections, but in ability to rise above mistakes and keep leading with courage and authenticity. I am Isoji Orale. Till we see in another episode of Leadership Factory Africa. God bless you.